Wow, you have just gotten so much practical information, but I want to warn you that it is now time for you to buckle your seatbelt. If you've ever been to an amusement park, you're getting on the roller coaster and they're telling you to put those seatbelts on and put those harnesses on because you're getting ready to go for a ride. That's exactly what is about to happen with our next presenter. She is a woman who is frequently seen with a bullhorn in hand. She was hired, this amazing young woman, in 2006 to launch Students for Life of America's full-time operation. And since then, she has helped build the pro-life generation and grow the number of campus Students for Life groups from 181 when she started to more than 1,100 in all 50 American states. She is all over the media as a media spokesperson, writing for numerous publications. You'll see her on all of the major news broadcasts. But most importantly, what she considers her greatest accomplishment, she is a wife to Jonathan, and she is a mother to children named Gunnar, Bear, Maverick, and Gracie. Let me pull up her image so you can see. Our presenter now is Kristan Hawkins, the president of Students for Life of America. Kristan, how are you today? Hold on 1 second. I'm having problems with my audio. I want to make sure we pipe it through. All right, are you there? Hold on, we had this happen one other time before. I want to make sure we pull in your audio. You know what? I did the same thing earlier with Jess. This is completely my fault. Bear with me 1 second. And there you go. Try talking now.
Thanks for having me on today, David.
You betcha. Now, I've got an echo. See, I had this one thing I didn't do right here at the beginning. All right, try talking now, Kristan.
Is this better?
No. Hold on. I muted you. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second. This is what happens when we're trying to do everything live and on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, try talking again. Let me see if we got rid of the echo.
Can you hear me any better now?
Yay! That's awesome. Okay, so Kristan, first off, just what makes you excited about having over 1,300 people gathered together on Save Lives U and being a part of this event? We'll start with that, and then we'll dive into your topic.
Well, I'm so excited. Everyone's giving up their time today on a Saturday, this great fall weekend. It's to really commit yourselves to this cause and to this issue, to say, what can I do more? Where can I be? What niche can I be in the pro-life movement? Because I think what you'll hear and what you're hearing today from all the different pro-life leaders and experts that David's gathered on the Save Lives U webcast is there's a place for you in the pro-life movement. I think a lot of times people struggle with, they know abortion's wrong, they know they should get involved, but they don't know where. And I think this is a great opportunity today to figure out where you can plug in, where you can fit in, and where you can make the biggest impact.
Yeah. So, Kristan, one of the things of many, I obviously have served on your board at Students for Life of America, have loved being a friend and colleague on so many projects over the years. We've had a lot of crazy times, including singing with sock puppets in West Virginia, but that's for another event. But one of the things that you have led the way on is helping students to understand what resources are or are not available to them on campus. So take us through this topic of pregnant on campus, how to find those pregnancy and parenting resources on campus, and if they're not there, what to do.
Yeah, but in 2011, so about 7 years ago, what we recognized with Students for Life groups that we were helping to start and helping to grow across the country was that everyone wanted to do more. Everyone wanted to help pregnant and parenting students, but no one really knew how. We all knew pregnancy resource centers existed, and that's pretty much all that there was. Students for Life groups would say, if you're in crisis, go here. But we realized there was more we need to do on our campuses, because if you look at, the abortion statistics, that, almost half of all abortions are committed on college-age women. We know that 79% of Planned Parenthoods are located near a college campus. Right. In many of our colleges that we work with, Planned Parenthood has deep-seated, multi-decade relationships with the campus health center, and they're directly referring women into their abortion facilities. And so we pro-lifers are at a disadvantage on campuses because we can be advocating against abortion. We can be educating students about the violent reality of abortion. But then where do we send her? How do we practically help her? How do we make it so no woman ever has to feel again like she has to choose between the life of her child and her education and her career, because that's what we see, when we're out praying in front of the abortion facilities. We're talking to women who are considering having an abortion. Oftentimes they're not repeating the rhetoric of the pro-abortion movement of, well, I just don't want this clump of cells right now. This blob of tissue has to go. That's not what they're saying when they're in front of the abortion facility. What they're saying, that last moment that before she enters the abortion facility to pay somebody to commit a violent act against the child she helped to create, what we hear from her are things like, I just can't have my baby right now. This isn't a good time to have a baby. So we understand that she recognizes what she's carrying inside of her. Mm-hmm. She understands that she's carrying a child, not just merely a clump of cells. She knows she has a special relationship with this child, but then she feels out of this complete and utter desperation, like she has to choose either her child's life or her life. And so the question we had was, what can we do? Where can we go as Students for Life to really strategically engage in this battle on college campuses? What do we have to change on college campuses? Because that's what we need to do. We worked with a group, Feminists for Life, a few years back, and this was back in 2010, and we actually polled Students for Life groups at that time, asking them, did they know where to send women who are in crisis on our campus? We commissioned a poll a few years ago. Same question we asked millennials. Where would you send a friend in crisis? And the majority of both of those studies we found, regardless of whether or not we were talking with pro-life student leaders or just regular old college students, is no one knew where to send pregnant women. Yep. The only place they could think of was Planned Parenthood. And we know when you refer women to Planned Parenthood, what is the option they're going to present? 94% of pregnant women who walk into Planned Parenthood's doors get an abortion. That's all they're about. I've gone into Planned Parenthood undercover pregnant, and I've asked, what kind of prenatal vitamins should I take? What about my child's development? If I choose to keep my child, are there OBGYNs in the community you could recommend me to? And every single time I've asked those questions, I'm always told, I don't know. We don't do that here. All Planned Parenthood provides is abortion and then birth control. So what can you do? If you're on a college campus, or even if you're on a high school campus, I would encourage you to get involved with our Pregnant on Campus initiative. In high schools, we called it Building a Better Future. You can go to pregnantoncampus.com.org, and you can get all kinds of information, all kinds of research that we've gathered up about student rights on campuses. But the first thing I would encourage anyone to do if you're in a campus environment is to research. Understand what it is you're up against. What are the resources that are available on your campus? A lot of times, if you go to a state university, there's going to be a lot more resources on that campus than you actually think, because some of those resources are state and federally mandated resources. The challenge is the campus just doesn't tell anybody about it. It's not when you're doing freshman orientation, when they're passing out condoms and telling you to go to Planned Parenthood, they're not also telling you that there's these resources for pregnant and parenting women on their campus. So you need to start doing a little bit of investigation, a little bit of sleuthing on your campus. We have something called the Pregnant and Parenting Resources Guide at Students for Life, and you can find it on Pregnant on Campus, or you can get it from your Students for Life regional coordinator. And I really see it as more of a fact-finding mission, because it's fill in the blank. You have to go to your dean of students. You've got to go to your campus health center and ask them these questions. Do we provide this? Where is this? Is this policy written down anywhere? And a lot of our Students for Life groups, once they have this pregnant and pregnancy resource guide, this scavenger hunt completed on campuses, I've turned it into books, and then they pass it out on their college campus just to say, hey, if you know of a woman who becomes pregnant, or a potential student who's a parent, make sure you give her this. Make sure she understands. We actually had the state of Mississippi pass legislation not too long ago requiring all of their state schools to have something very similar in their campus health centers. And it's It's very easy. It's just a collection of what resources are already available on campus, what resources are already available in the community. And I think that's the first thing you've got to do. You got to do your homework to find out, what are you up against? What policies on your campus need changed? What resources do pregnant and parenting women on your campus need that they're not getting from the administration, or they're not getting from the local pro-life community? And once you kind of have this lay of the land, I think the next thing you need to do is you need to get into a marketing relationship, a marketing partnership with your local pregnancy resource center. We call them marketing partnerships at Students for Life, and this is one of our strategic goals this year, is to have more than 100 Students for Life groups on college campuses in partnership with all of their local pregnancy resource centers. Because one thing you have to understand is a pregnancy resource center wants to market on your campus, right? Because women on campuses are some of the most vulnerable women to the abortion industry. That's why Planned Parenthood locates there. But if you're running a pregnancy resource center, it's often very difficult to get onto a campus unless you know a student who can allow you on campus, who can reserve you table space on campus, who can help post your flyers. Your Students for Life group, your pro-life group, or your Catholic group, whatever group you may have, can be that marketing voice for the local pregnancy center. You can be the ones constantly putting up flyers, reserving a table every Friday, and inviting someone from the Pregnancy Resource Center to appear and have a table. Any questions about pregnancy? Any question about STDs? Ask us. And then you have a local expert right there that you're bringing to campus. So enter in the marketing relationship with your local pregnancy resource center. And if you're interested in this, you want more information, our regional coordinators at Students for Life will walk you through, regardless of whether or not you have a Students for Life group or you're just a collection of students who want to do this, because this is so important. We've seen time and time again, we're just advertising flyers or sidewalk chalking the 1-800 number, the local pregnancy center, or fundraising to put ads in the campus buses for the local pregnancy center has saved lives, because you're reaching those women at their most desperate hour and their lowest point. And you're giving a sign of hope. You're leaving a sign of hope on that campus. So she knows if she finds herself in this crisis pregnancy situation, that she won't just have to go to Planned Parenthood, that there's another option, there's another choice to explore. So once you've done your research, once you've met with your local pregnancy center, figured out where they are, toured the center yourself, entered into a marketing partnership, a relationship with them, I think the next thing you can do on your campus is to make a plan of action for how to change your campus, how to enact changes right there on your campus. What needs to be changed? For example, we had a Students for Life group at Ball State in Indiana this year who found out that pregnant women weren't able to park in like the faculty parking lots when they were able to go to class. So you have, women who are very pregnant. As someone who's been pregnant 4 times, I understand later in pregnancy, you do not want to be walking very far around campus, especially, when the walking creates the urge to go to the bathroom and then you're late for whatever meeting you were in. And so what they were able to do is work with their student government to amend the policy on campus to allow pregnant parenting women to park. They have like the primo parking spots on campus. And so they're able to park, go to class, and hopefully not have to waddle too far around, because it's uncomfortable. And when pregnant women, when they're really pregnant, walk a lot slower, making them late for class. Another university, Liberty University, a Christian university. We actually started Pregnant on Campus. A lot of people don't know this. We started Pregnant on Campus after it was students at Liberty University who are out in front of the Planned Parenthood praying every Saturday like they like to do. It's about an hour away from their campus in Roanoke, Virginia. And they saw women wearing Liberty University sweatshirts going in for an abortion. This is a school that's very well known as a Orthodox or a strident Baptist school. Everyone, they're supposed to be pro-life, but then we realized girls were going and having abortions. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we found out was there were a lot of problems on campus with their policies. For example, once you became pregnant, And once the administration learned you were pregnant, you were no longer allowed to live in the dorms. The school said it was a health and safety risk. That's kind of crazy because I'm a more of a health and safety risk to a campus if I'm just like falling down the stairs. That's a problem because that's a huge deterrent for women to come forward and get the help they need. And so this year, working with the student government administration, the Students for Life groups, they were able to actually amend the policy. So now she doesn't get kicked out of the dorms. She can stay in the dorms pregnant. After she gives birth, she and her child can move into the married housing dorms. That's huge. We've also worked with the resident advisors there to actually have a program in place. Most colleges, your resident advisors, your RAs have to do some sort of hall program, whether it's on mental health or STDs. Well, we've created kits at Students for Life about healthy relationships, about pregnancy. And so now the RAs there at Liberty are going to be trained in how to minister to women in that moment of crisis. Because you have to really think too, especially on a Christian school. A Christian school, if you're going to a large state school and, there's 60,000 people going to this school and you become pregnant, you can wear baggy sweatshirts, you can, move to an off-campus apartment and really no one's going to know. If you go to a small Christian school, everyone's going to know you're pregnant. That pressure to abort, I would argue, is probably even more intense. When there was an expectation for your behavior at that school, and you engaged in a behavior of premarital sex that wasn't allowed, and you let down yourself, and you let down your family, and I would say, and I've been talking to a lot of former Christian students on campuses, this is a problem we have in our church, is how do we rectify this? How do we, not condone the sin of engaging in premarital sex, but also helping, supporting, and loving her once she's become pregnant, because pregnancy is not a sin. It is not a sin. And so this was huge for us and something that we hope to repeat. In fact, I was just checking my text messages we have multiple student leadership summits going on today across the country, as we do every semester on Saturdays. And I just found out a school in Minnesota, a Catholic school in Minnesota, is kicking pregnant women out of their campus. They're actually asked to leave school if they become pregnant. This is a problem, church. This is a problem. Because I can tell you, our Students for Life team members can tell you, we've met far too many former Christians who were Christians until they became pregnant, until their parents drove them, or their parents who were leaders in the church drove them to the abortion facility, or whose Christian school kicked them out or told them they couldn't graduate once they became pregnant. This is a huge problem. This is something, especially with this school in Minnesota, we'll be working on, and we're going to be setting our sights on changing that policy. So this is something that you can do. Whatever campus you go to, whether it's a private school, whether it's a large state school, there's policies that you can change on your campus. And even if your campus is very liberal or very pro-abortion, there's changes that you can make, especially when it comes to parking and housing and reduced cost of daycare. I mean, you look at the reasons why women choose abortions, David. Two of the biggest reasons we will see three reasons: lack of partner support, housing, and cost of daycare. Those are usually the three big reasons that women choose abortion. And you can change that. You can change at least two of those reasons on your campuses. And even if you have a campus that's hostile to hearing the pro-life message, hearing the truth about abortion, you can frame this in such a way where you can work with those who oppose you, like in their pro-abortion, because it's very simple. Are you discriminating against pregnant women, or are you against that? It's a very easy way to frame this on campus. So, research your campus, market your pregnancy resource center, change your campus, change the policies on your campus. And at Students for Life, David, we're happy to help anybody who wants to do this, whether or not you're in a Students for Life group. You can reach out to us. You can go to our website at studentsforlife.org or pregnantoncampus.org. We can get you in touch with our regional coordinator. We have more than 20 regional coordinators who will walk with you and create a step-by-step action plan for what you can change on your campus. And if you know your campus has one of these policies where they kick out pregnant and parenting students, let us know. We want to work with you to fix that.
Amen. Well, Kristan, you have done amazing, and you didn't even have to have a bullhorn to convey this. I'm really, really impressed here. Let me just recap a couple points, and I have a couple closing questions to ask you. First off, for everybody here, I think you now understand Students for Life of America is an incredible resource for anybody who's wanting to engage on campus and save lives. If you're a focused missionary, if you're a student leader, if you're a volunteer, if you're a student, if you're at a pregnancy center, if you're just a community member, my wife and I, Margaret, we had students from our local campus, University of Mary Washington, over last night. And one of those students is very involved with the Students for Life group there. And so find out more and take advantage of these resources Kristan is talking about at studentsforlife.org, and then specifically pregnantoncampus.org, as she mentioned. Kristan, for those who really want to get perhaps more involved, maybe they want to start a group, one of the things I'm excited about, and then we'll have more to share on this publicly in the near future, is Students for Life of America and Focus are collaborating more closely than ever before. And you and I have been in meetings with the Focus executive leadership team, with Curtis Martin and others, talking about how do we integrate these efforts, because you've got these missionaries and these student leaders who are going deep in these authentic relationships, winning people to Christ, building the relationships, forming them. But really, when they encounter those challenges of somebody in an unexpected pregnancy, the collaboration with Students for Life, it makes perfect sense. So we're doing some testing of working groups together. Minnesota and North Dakota, watch out. There's some fun, exciting things happening. Also, Kristan will be participating in the Seek conference in Indianapolis that we've been talking about. But for those who maybe want to learn a little more about Students for Life, maybe even are thinking of starting a group or going deeper, can you just touch on the conference that's happening, my favorite pro-life conference of the year that happens in Washington, D.C. in January, not long after Seek happens in Indianapolis?
That's exactly right. Well, every January, Students for Life America hosts the world's largest pro-life conference. It's the largest pro-life conference in the world. There's more than 2,000 students. Every national pro-life organization is there represented. Most of their leaders are speaking. We have more than 20 workshops. It's amazing. And it's an amazing day because not only do you walk away energized, knowing that this is a battle that we're winning. This is a battle that's worth fighting for. But you also learn where to put your passion and how to be effective in whatever niche you choose. So I would encourage everyone to come and check out our conference. It's sflalive.org is our website where you can register. It's the day after the March for Life. If you're coming to the March for Life, stay the extra day. If you have church groups or large school groups who need to come, we have scholarships available to help make it worth your while and help save those costs, because we know it's expensive. But, I beg you, don't just come to the March for Life and say, wow, this is great, we're winning, I'm not alone, I'm part of the majority. Stay for the conference and learn how to actually win your campus and your communities. It's going to be Saturday, January 19th. Like I said, it's the day after the March for Life, and we'd love to see you all there.
All right, and I will be there with you. I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm going to be doing my part to try to help fire folks up at that event. Kristan Hawkins, thank you for your amazing leadership. Thank you for your collaboration with Focus. Thank you for all you have done to really re-energize the pro-life generation. You truly are making a world-changing impact, and it is my honor to be able to co-labor with you in the Lord's harvest field and in this crucial issue of life. So thank you for everything you do, and thanks for being a part today of Save Lives U.
Thanks, David. Thanks for being such an amazing host and unifier for our movement. This is an incredible opportunity.
Hey, never a dull moment. God bless you, Kristan. Have a good rest of the day.
Thanks.